Alright, um, thank you for watching this video as we kick off the Spring 2015 Severe Weather Readiness Campaign for Central Indiana. This is an annual event that we do every year. Well, this is the second year, but it's going to be an annual thing, and basically we're going to be going throughout the week all the way through the 7th of March and talking about severe weather related topics and severe weather safety and whatnot. The whole goal of this campaign is to bring attention to the upcoming peak in severe weather, which occurs every year during springtime. Um, and so we're going to be bringing attention to that, and the ultimate goal is just to raise everyone's awareness on severe weather and severe weather safety. Uh, it's almost um, it's almost no question that there will be severe weather fatalities. This year we see them every year, but we want to try to make that number as low as possible. And so let's just start off by looking back at 2014. 2014 was actually a pretty quiet year for severe weather, just like 2013 and 2012. We did have big events during those years, but they were isolated big events, and just not like they were. The years were below average in terms of tornadoes. And so the quiet streak continued into 2014. However, we did have a couple of significant events. One was April 27th, April 28th, 2014. 34 fatalities total. You may remember a pretty significant tornado hit Arkansas that day, just northeast of Little Rock. I think the town was Mayville. Severe weather continued the next day into the deep south, and actually did see some severe weather around north of the Ohio River as well, in Illinois and Indiana. Another pretty significant event occurred June 16th of 2014. Um, there were 2 fatalities during this event, and I think this event was particularly known for the stunning 2 tornadoes that came out of the same thunderstorm. And we'll have a picture of that coming up, but that was truly a sight to see. And then July 8th, I wasn't even aware of this. There was an EF4 tornado in the state of New York that resulted in 4 fatalities. And you generally don't hear, New York's not an overly tornado prone state to begin with, but seeing an EF4 up there is pretty remarkable. And that just is a reminder right there that tornadoes do not follow assumptions. They do not have a rule book. There are certain parts of the country where tornadoes are more likely to occur than other parts of the country, but they can occur anywhere and any time of the year, and even the stronger ones. So it's always something to keep in mind. And then December 23rd of 2014, we had a little localized severe weather event down in Mississippi, which actually turned out to be pretty potent and resulted in 3 fatalities. And that falls within that December, January, February time of the year when we get events during that time of the year. We typically refer to them as cool season severe weather events. There's less instability during that time of the year. The storms tend to be what we call lower topped, which means that the updraft of the thunderstorm basically doesn't grow as large as it would during the summertime or springtime when you have a lot more instability to work with. And so that's just kind of how that's kind of what sets the cool season apart from other times of the year. But it's always good to keep those events in mind because they can be deadly. Sometimes the smaller updraft can mean less lightning, less thunder, almost no lightning at all sometimes, but those storms can be deadly during that time of the year. A lot of times the severe weather that occurs during the winter or cool season is confined to Florida and the Gulf Coast region, but we can see severe weather during that time of year here in Indiana. We have had tornadoes during the wintertime before, so that's always something to keep in mind. So 2014 resulted in 47 fatalities total, at least according to the Storm Prediction Center. And so still below, I forget what the 3-year average is, but I can tell you that this year, as well as 2013, 2012, have been below what we normally see for tornado fatalities each year. I don't know what the exact average is, but it seems like ever since 2011, which was a very active year, these last few years, 2012, 2013, 2014, have just been interestingly quiet. And the question is, will that quiet streak continue into this year? And the big answer is, we don't know. First, before we talk a little more about that, this is just a little picture of Nebraska, and you can see why June 16th got its name. The 2 tornadoes from the same thunderstorm. It's very incredible to see. And these aren't just little tornadoes, too. These are large tornadoes. Large tornadoes. Again, we talked about how the last few years have been pretty quiet for severe weather. And we wonder then, of course, will this year be the same? And we wonder that especially now, since it is March 1st, which is typically considered the official start of the spring tornado season. And so we wonder where I'm anxious to chase, I'll tell you that, as I know a lot of my buddies are as well, but the question is just how active will it be? And this doesn't scream active, to say the least. This is tomorrow's outlook. I know it says current conditions up here. There was a little misprint here with a little error getting the map. But we'll go ahead and look. This is tomorrow. And as you can see, we're going to have freezing rain possible here in the Midwest here into the lower Ohio Valley. And that's going to be another problem Monday and then again on Tuesday. And then we can also see Monday we're going to have this front draping down, this cold front draping down to here into the Gulf Coast and over Florida eventually. And then we have another front out here back in Canada. We have an area of low pressure back here into the northern parts of California. Again, I'm sorry, this isn't Sunday's map. This is a little bit of a error we had getting the maps transferred over here to the slideshow. But you get the idea. This is not a severe weather look, to say the very least. And we wonder, we just really don't know when the severe weather will begin to pick up. We have seen signals on the models that we could start to warm up here relatively soon. It is March, obviously. We say that this is the official start of the tornado season for a reason, because even though we can get snow during March, we can also get severe weather and tornado outbreaks, and this is the time of the year, especially for the Gulf Coast, when severe weather begins to pick up. And of course, that means Indiana can see severe weather March, April, May, and June. These other regions tend to have little peaks, like the Gulf Coast. They tend to see most of the brunt of their severe weather during the spring tornado season from March, April. And then while the plains, they tend to get their name from April, May, and then up here in the northern plains from late April, May, June, and sometimes extending into July. Indiana, our big months are typically May and June, but we can definitely see severe weather during April and March as well. We've had some big events that have occurred during months of April and March as well. March, 2012, we had the Henryville tornado. Palm Sunday outbreak in 1965. That was a major outbreak that occurred in April. Super outbreak of 1974, another major event that occurred in April. So severe weather season is upon us, and we have to be prepared. And even though this doesn't look particularly, this does not have a severe weather look to it at all, we know that severe weather will pick up here, and it's only a matter of time. So we have to be ready for it. The spring tornado peak again March through June, but as we can see, there is a secondary peak of severe weather that occurs during fall, particularly during the late October, November time period. But the bottom line, again, is that severe weather can occur any time of the year, especially in Indiana. Indiana sees tornadoes year-round. You know, on the Gulf Coast, down there on the Gulf Coast in the Deep South, after about late May through all the way through November usually, it gets dead down there pretty much. Unless you get a tropical system, tornadoes are very rare. Likewise, in the northern plains, they get severe weather from April to maybe October, but come wintertime, they are dead up there. It's just too cold, too much snow. But Indiana, we're kind of in the middle of the road between Canada and the Gulf Coast. The jet stream, during spring transitions to the north. During fall, it transitions back to the south. And we're just kind of in that middle of the road territory where we can see severe weather all times of the year, including tornadoes from spring, summer, fall, winter. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, spring is where we see our biggest tornado peak. We kind of see another peak for tornado outbreaks in fall, but we do get summertime tornadoes as well. It's not uncommon, and we can get them in winter as well. This week's schedule, so just give you kind of a little bit of a round out as to how the week will go. Monday, our big topic is going to be non-tornado severe weather threats. Stupid 9. Don't you love it when you find all these typos in your presentation? Monday, we're going to be talking about non-severe weather threats, such as damaging winds, large hail. That's going to be the focus for that day. Tuesday, big focus is tornadoes. Wednesday, we're going to focus particularly on supercells. Thursday, lightning and flooding. Friday, we're going to be talking about severe weather outlook and reception of watches, warnings, and advisories. And Saturday, it's going to be a week in review. And we have 2 prizes we are giving away. A Wendy's $10 gift card that's going to be later today. And we're giving away a weather radio as well on Saturday. And so be watching my Facebook page. For that, what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question, and whoever is first to comment with the right answer will win the selected prize for that day. Thank you very much, and again, Monday we'll start things off with focusing on severe weather unrelated to tornadic activity and tornadoes. So we invite you to watch that, to participate with us on Monday. And of course, we invite you to be watching later today for the first prize giveaway, the Wendy's $10 gift card. Again, we're doing this to place emphasis on the upcoming severe weather season. I know we look outside and it doesn't really look like severe weather season. It looks like the farthest thing from severe weather season, but it is March, and it's not going to be too much longer before it really starts to ramp up here. And we're going to get severe weather, whether it's going to be a quiet year again, or whether it's going to be an active year, or just an average year. Whatever, we're going to get severe weather. Indiana always gets severe weather. And so we've got to be prepared. That's the main point that we really want to get across to people. We've got to be prepared. It's tragic when severe weather kills people, but it happens each and every year. And if you don't prepare, it could be your year. And we hope not. So we've got to be prepared.